everybody, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my update finale video, whatever you want to call it, for my 2 weeks one palette, which is my Urban Decay Naked Heat eyeshadow palette. Now before we get into it, let me just go ahead and say, if you're watching this and you're confused because my intro video was only a week ago, that's because I was late filming that video. I had already been using the eyeshadow palette for a week before I actually filmed the intro video, so it was late. That's why it seems like it's only been a week since I did my intro video, in a week since I've been using this palette. But I promise you, it's been a full 2 weeks. Why can't I talk? It's been a full 2 weeks that I've been using this eyeshadow palette. Also, y'all are gonna hate me for this. This is my second time today filming this video, so I already chose a palette on my little randomizer. Like, it already chose one for me because I don't know, I just couldn't use the footage from the first time that I filmed this palette, and I don't even know if I'm going to use the footage from this one because it's making me look really dark. But yes, it already picked a palette for me, so I'm sorry for that, you guys. And also, excuse my appearance. There's a lot going on. Like I said, I filmed this video twice already, and I've been like out and about. I've already taken my hair down and everything. Like, it's been a lot. But I still really wanted to go ahead and update you guys and tell you how I did with this palette. And if you haven't seen my intro video, you definitely need to pause this video and go watch the intro so you can kind of get a feel of why I'm doing this, how I'm doing this, and my thoughts on this palette. Because to be honest, my thoughts are still the same with this palette. So let's get right into it. I appreciate this palette a little bit more now that I've been using it consistently for a straight 2 weeks. Like, I've used this palette more in these 2 weeks than I've used it the entire time that I've had him. Like, seriously, I've had him for a little bit over a year, I think, and I probably had only used him like 3 or 4 times, and now in this 2 weeks I used him like every single day. So I did get good use out of this palette, but I still feel the same way about him. Like, I am still kind of uninspired by this palette, and I still feel like it's very boring. Oops, the brush fell out. I still feel like it's very boring and very monochromatic, and the looks that you get from it are just always going to be very warm toned and reddish orange. They're all gonna pretty much look the same. So yeah, you know, I just didn't think it was a palette that I necessarily had to have. And I still love my warm toned eyeshadows and everything, but this just isn't a palette that I would have picked up on my own. So today's look is the very last look that I did using this palette, and I do like my look. I do like the eyeshadow. This formula is amazing, let me tell you. But again, I just feel like it's a very, I had lipstick on my teeth this entire time. Okay, I cannot. Y'all, I'm so tired of filming this video. Like, I'm about to be done for today, okay? Anywho, yeah, let's just get into the shades of this palette, and I will show you guys some eye looks that I did using this. But Ounce was a really nice brow bone highlight shade. I thought that it was going to be too light on my skin tone, but I used it today to highlight my eyebrow, and I used it every single time that I use this palette to highlight my brow, and it's a really nice color. It's more of a satiny, sheeny type of eyeshadow. It's not really a shimmer, and it's not really a matte. It has a nice sheen to it. So Ounce was a really good color for me to use on my brow bone. Chaser is a very basic type of shade. Like, I really didn't know what to do with Chaser, so I ended up just putting it all over my lid whenever I would do an all matte look for work, and it worked well for that. But it's just a very meh shade. There's nothing special about it. If you're very fair, you can use Chaser as maybe a transition or a blending out color. But if you're like tan, medium, dark, deep, Chaser is only going to be a lid shade or a brow bone highlight shade. Sauced and Low Blow. If you guys can see, I got really good use out of Sauced and Low Blow. Like, I actually have, I don't know if y'all are going to be able to see it, I actually have a dip going in both of those shades. Like, the shadow is starting to pull away from the side of the pan because that's just how much I use these shadows. I use them both as transition colors, so I would use them interchangeably into my crease, and it really didn't matter which one I would use for an eye look. They would both pretty much essentially look the same. One is a little bit darker and a little bit more warm toned than the other, but on the eyes, when I was starting out an eyeshadow look, they pretty much serve the exact same purpose. These two shades remind me of Burnt Orange and Raw Sienna from the Modern Renaissance palette. They are like pretty much the exact same thing that I use those colors for. I just use them as a transition shade, and they look really nice. They blended really well. The formula of these is very soft. There's lots of kick up in the pan with these two eyeshadows, like they're pressed very loosely into their pan. Sauced more so than Low Blow had more kick up and everything, but they're both a very soft matte formula eyeshadow, so they are very easy to work with, very blendable. I really like them. Lumber is like the only shade in the palette that I was a little bit disappointed by. It's such a beautiful shade. It's like that orangey rose gold pink shade, but I feel like it's very lackluster, and I wish it was a little bit more metallic like the rest of the metallics in this palette. These down here, because I mean on the eye it worked really nice for work when I was putting it all over my lid, because for work I don't want anything too metallic and like shiny on my lids. But if I was trying to use this to go out, I would definitely have to use a glitter primer or some type of mixing medium, wet my brush or something like that, to really get it to look how it should on my lid. So it's a really nice color, but I was just a tad bit disappointed with it. But I don't mind, like, you know, using glitter primer or wetting my brush with shades like that. He Devil, this is like your standard color that you need in a warm toned eyeshadow palette. It's just a really nice reddish orange color to start building up warmth in your crease and like start you know, like really just defining your crease. So that's a standard shade. I love it. The formula of that one is amazing. It's not patchy, it's not dry. It is very nice to use in the crease. It doesn't have as much kick up as these two shades. It's a little bit more tightly pressed in the pan, but I feel like, you know, it was still a really nice blendable formula. Dirty Talk is such a pretty reddish copper shade, and it's very metallic. That is how I wish Lumber would look. How metallic these two shades right here are, that they are incredible, like absolutely stunning. Scorched is a very nice pink metallic shade. I really like Scorched as well. It's just those two are really nice. I don't have anything to say about them. They're very soft eyeshadows. They're like so soft that they almost crumble under your finger. They're really nice. Cayenne again is another shade just like He Devil. I just use that to start warming up my crease and deepening up my crease. Again, it's not as soft as Low Blow and Sauce, but it's still a really nice blendable eyeshadow formula. And Fuego is gorgeous. In Fuego, I have it on my eyes today, on my inner and outer corner, and on my lower lash line. It looks a little bit more burgundy on my skin tone than it does in the pan, but it's such a nice color. It has a little bit more of a drier matte formula. It doesn't feel like the rest of them, but it was still very easy to blend. And same thing with Ashes. Ashes, I feel like, is another drier type of formula. Like these two seem to have the same formula, and then all four of these have the same type of formula. But Ashes was really nice. It wasn't super patchy. I would use this to deepen up my eye looks on the outer corner and smoke out my lower lash line, and it was really nice for that. And then the very last shade, which is Ember, is the one that I have on my lid now. And even though it is a darker color, I still feel like it had that really nice metallic sheen. As you guys can see on my lids, I feel like it was very pigmented. I did go ahead and wet my brush for this color, but I feel like even if I wouldn't have wet my brush, it would have looked amazing on the eyes, because it just has that really high pigment metallic type of look to it. So yeah, like I said, I can appreciate this palette now, and I can appreciate the colors now, and I do think that I will be reaching for this palette for the matte transition shades, since I know how well they work and how well they blend out now. But yeah, I still feel kind of the same about it as I did in my intro video. I just feel like this wasn't a palette that was necessary for me, so I'm glad that it was gifted and I didn't spend my own money on it, because the shades are just meh to me. Like, the colors are meh, but the formula is amazing. So like I said, I already filmed this video once, so my randomizer already chose a palette for me, and the palette that it chose is actually very similar to my Urban Decay Naked Heat eyeshadow palette. So it chose the e.l.f. Rose Gold Sunset eyeshadow palette, and I actually recently got this palette. I believe it was like a month and a half ago that I bought this palette from Ulta, and it is a really pretty eyeshadow palette, and I've watched a lot of reviews on this palette, and it is very pigmented. I swatched it and then the reviews from other people say that this is a really good, nice blendable eyeshadow palette, and it's pigmented. I've used it once to go to work. I used these 3 shades right here, and I was very happy with the look that I came up with for work. So these shades right here all remind me of the shades from the Naked Heat palette, and this one as well. So yeah, but then it has this nice like green in it, this nice like yellow gold, and this mauve shade. So yeah, I think I'm going to be able to get some good looks out of this palette. But again, just like with my Naked Heat palette, I think I'm going to go ahead and add some additional colors into using this palette so that I can get a little bit more different looks from it. But yes, this is my next palette for the next 2 weeks. So I hope you guys stick around and watch and see what I can do with this eyeshadow palette. And I'm going to show my eye looks at the end of this video. So yeah, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. I cannot talk today. Leave me a comment down below letting me know that you like this video. Also, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, as well as the bell notification button so that you are notified every single time that I upload a video. And I will see you guys in my next one. Peace.